So guys, two of my biggest fears are that number one, someday I'm gonna be like halfway through a haircut and my wife's gonna come in and tell me that her water just broke, so we have to go to the hospital right now. We can't waste a second. It would be just the absolute worst timing. And number two, I'm afraid that I'm gonna wake up one day and see a big chunk of my dividend income is missing, which is actually something I'm going through right now. And I'll tell you more about that in this month's portfolio update. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, my friends, what is going on? It's so great to see you guys. In case you're new to the channel, my name is Ryan Williams, and here I show you how to take steps towards financial freedom by investing in dividend stocks, which so far has been a very rewarding experience for me, and I believe it is the easiest, most hands-off way to create passive income. Twice a week, I'm coming at you guys with new videos, most of which are different dividend stock analyses, as well as inside looks into my own portfolio, like what we'll be doing today. And with that said, let's now jump over to the screen and just get right into the portfolio update. So here we are taking a look at my dividend stock portfolio on this spreadsheet that I made on Google Sheets. And I actually give this spreadsheet away if you guys want to grab it and use it for yourselves. It's been a very nifty tool for me. I've left a link to this spreadsheet in the description of the video. All you need to do is click the link. It'll open up a very blank templated version of this spreadsheet. And once you click the link and open up the template, you need to go to File, make a copy. You need to hit OK and essentially make a copy of this spreadsheet before you can start inputting your own data. And as far as my portfolio goes, guys, you can see it's currently valued at $36,228.50, which is quite a bit higher than it was this time last month. As you can see, when we did last month's portfolio update video, my portfolio was sitting at about $34,388 or so. So we've seen a nice gain of about $2,000 just in the last month. That's nice. And part of this is from just me contributing to this portfolio every single week. I invest every week and buy more stocks, but also some of this has to do with just a climb in unrealized gain. So just in the last month, my unrealized gain in this portfolio has climbed about 2%, and my annual dividend income has grown quite a bit as well. Last month, it was at like $1,617 when we did the update video. Today, according to this spreadsheet, it is $1,660.74. So we've averaged over $1 of growth per day just in the last 30 days. However, guys, this is not the entire story. As I mentioned in the intro to this video, I've actually, in the last month, I've lost some annual dividend income. If you guys keep your ear to the ground on all things related to dividend stock investing, then you're probably aware that AT&T has finalized a lot of the spinoff details, and they've officially announced the next dividend payment, which is a reduction compared to how it was in previous months. And with that, guys, my annual dividend income is not actually $1,660. It is now officially $1,575. And this screenshot that we're looking at here, I pulled from my Charles Schwab app from my actual brokerage account. So I would think this is a bit more accurate than what we're seeing on Google Sheets. But either way, I've taken a loss in dividend income, which really stings in the short term, but we'll make that back up in due time. We got a lot of time, a lot of years left to invest, so I'm not stressing about it too much. Anyway, guys, that's how my portfolio has been performing overall in the last month. Now I want to hone in on some of the individual stocks and see what are the best performers and the worst performers in the last month. So jumping over to Seeking Alpha right here, these are all of the holdings in my portfolio, and I've organized them from best performing in the last month to worst performing. And the top 5 performers in the last month in my portfolio were Chevron, who climbed 13% in the last month. And no surprise, this stock has been on a roll, and it is now by far the best performing position in my portfolio, which I'll show you in a moment. The second best performer in the last month was Southern Company, who climbed nearly 12%. AbbVie coming in third, which has also been on quite a run, up nearly 10% in the last month. Then we have Johnson & Johnson, AWR, EPD, Realty Income, WP Carey, all these other stocks that did pretty good in the last 30 days. Now, getting into some of the biggest losers, this actually is not too terrible. I mean, Verizon actually took quite a hit in the last month, but otherwise it's not been too bad. Main Street's down a little bit, Snap-on's down a little bit, which is great because I've been buying this every single week. Now going up over here, I want to show you my actual holdings and how they're performing overall. So we mentioned a moment ago, Chevron is just crushing it by far, okay? It's up over 75.5% in my portfolio. My AbbVie position's also doing great, up over 42% with AbbVie. Lockheed Martin's up quite a bit for reasons that I'm sure you can understand, up over 26%, and a lot of these gains have come recently. So as you guys can see, I have some that are performing really, really well, but on the other hand, I have some that are, kind of sucking too. AT&T's been down for quite a bit. In my position, it's down almost 17%. My 3M position is down 10.5%. I've got Intel down 8.5%, which actually it's it's seen quite a huge drop today at the time of this recording, down over 4% just today. Verizon's down, Starbucks down, Snap-on's down. All these stocks are down and creating some really great buying opportunities. And a lot of these that I'm currently in the red on right now, I've been buying, which leads me to my next point, guys. I want to show you all of my purchases for March. So as you guys can see on the screen, I had a pretty nice month of buying in March. Starting with Intel, I invested $50 into Intel and picked up just one share of that bad boy in March. I bought a lot more in February and I kind of calmed down in March. I've been really buying Starbucks heavily. All in all, I've invested $295 into Starbucks in the month of March and picked up about 3 1/3 share. Snap-on, same thing, guys. Invested $295 into that. Still working on building up my position in Snap-on, and I was able to pick up nearly a share and a half in the last month from making these contributions. And I also started buying Verizon again. As we saw a moment ago, Verizon is down quite a bit in my portfolio, so I invested $50 into it and picked up, nearly one share. I did this just a couple days ago, actually. And those are all the individual holdings that I picked up, and I also invested $250 into my Roth IRA throughout the entire month of March. And that brings my total purchases or my total contributions for the last month to $940 invested, which is pretty nice. Definitely nice to be able to contribute this much to my portfolio and see that cash flow grow. Now, on the topic of my Roth IRA, let's actually jump over to M1 Finance. I want to show you guys inside that portfolio, and I actually hit a cool little milestone in the Roth IRA in the month of March. I am officially over $1,000 in this portfolio, which I think is really cool, especially considering I only started this like 2 months ago at the beginning of the year. And I think this really speaks to what can happen with consistent contributions and being consistent with your investments, which is something I really try and hone in on this channel. I do believe a lot of success with dividend stock investing comes from patience and consistency. I don't think you can build a worthwhile stream of passive income without those two things. Anyway, I won't bend your ear about that too much, guys. Overall in this portfolio, I'm down just over 2%, which is not too bad. I was down more, but the last month was really good. And in the last 30 days in the month of March, I climbed very close to 4%. So it's starting to get up there, and just showing you guys what I have in this portfolio. It's made up entirely of Vanguard ETFs. I have VU, which is the S&P 500 ETF, VYMI, which is the International High Dividend ETF, VXF, which is the Extended Market ETF. I have a VWO, which covers emerging markets. And then last but not least, I have VBR, which is the Small Cap Value ETF. So we're getting some small caps into the mix there. Overall, this is a very diverse portfolio, and with all of these different ETFs, I probably am being exposed to thousands of different stocks on the market, both here in the United States and across the world. So it's a very diverse portfolio. And really, truth be told, I don't have to do anything to make this portfolio grow. This entire portfolio is pretty much running on autopilot. All of the transfers from my bank account into the portfolio are on autopilot. All of the investments every single week are on autopilot. I don't have to lift a finger to make this bad boy grow. And that's why I called it easy money, because, this is probably going to be the easiest money I'll ever make. So anyway, that's what's been going on in the Roth IRA. Now I want to jump back over to Seeking Alpha and show you guys my watch list and see what kind of stocks I'm looking at purchasing, which, spoiler alert, I'm really not seriously considering adding any stocks in my portfolio right now, but if I were to add any, it would probably be one from this list right here. And this watch list hasn't changed in the last month. Usually I'm adding a stock or subtracting a stock or two, making small tweaks to this watch list as I do some research, but I didn't change a single thing in the last month. I'm pretty content with all of these stocks, and I really want to hold out for a big blue chip stock like a Costco or a Microsoft or Pepsi or Lowe's to come into buying range so I can add it to my portfolio. I think these are all great long-term holds. I think right now Lowe's is looking to be the most affordable out of the bunch. I mean, in the last, in the last month, it's down nearly 12%. So it's making its way toward the 52-week low. So with that said, I actually should probably start heavily considering adding this to my portfolio, or at least establishing a solid price to buy in at. And although I don't necessarily want to add a stock to my portfolio, the opportunity to add big blue chip, great companies, actually Dividend Kings. This company has 58 years of consecutive dividend growth. And that's a perfect segue into the next thing I wanted to talk about, which is my future plans for this portfolio. What am I going to be doing this upcoming month? And I got to tell you guys, it's not going to be a whole lot different than it was in March. I'm still going to be investing every single week, as I always do. And I probably won't switch up what I've been buying. I've been buying a lot of Snap-on. I've been buying a lot of Starbucks. I just started contributing to some more Verizon. I'll probably be doing the same in the month of April. And that's how it goes sometimes with dividend stock investing, guys. It's not a style of investing that you need to constantly make drastic changes to. Yeah, maybe some small tweaks here and there. As an asterisk to all of this though, guys, I'm gonna keep my eye on lows. It's actually starting to look pretty cheap. And so there is a possibility if it keeps going down, and depending on what sort of fair value I establish for that stock, that I could add it to my portfolio. I don't know if exactly I'll do it in April. I don't know when I'll do it at all. It really just depends on what the market does. If this stock keeps going down, I wouldn't mind adding it. But otherwise, guys, it's business as usual. Anyway, guys, that's what's been going on in my neck of the woods inside my dividend stock portfolio. And if you're hungry for some more dividend stock content, click this link right up over here. And if you're not sick of me quite yet and want to see more videos from me in the future, hit the subscribe button right over here. And with that said, I will now get out of your hair. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you in the next one.